Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Dee, aka The Messy Perfectionist. And my channel here is all things real talk. I share my personal experiences on this thing called life. I like to share inspirational tips, personal growth, how to manage anxiety, how to balance your life. I've even done a few videos on tarot cards if you're interested. If any of that sounds good to you and you do find benefit from the information that I provide in this video, please consider hitting that little like button, subscribe, and hitting the little bell, and you will be notified every time I upload a video. Of course, all of your comments and inputs are so appreciated. I love getting feedback from all of you guys and responding and creating that dialogue in our community. I think having community support is a wonderful thing, and we all benefit when we support each other. So now with that brief introduction to me and my channel, today we are going to discuss the three main types of bariatric or weight loss surgery that is typically provided by most surgeons in the current day. If that sounds like something you want to learn a little bit more about, please stay tuned. So first I just wanted to give a quick update for my friends and family. My surgery is currently still scheduled for October 29th. I did meet with my new surgeon, whom I like very much. He was very informative, very personable, and I actually did learn a few more things that I did not know before about my surgery. So all is well in my world, and currently I am on day 1 of my 2-week pre-op diet again, and plan on following the same rules that I did last time. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about my journey, you can go ahead and click the card up here onto why I'm having weight loss surgery, and I will also put another card at the end on my pre-op diet. I may do another update if something changes, but as of right now, the information's there. You know, we're not going to reinvent the wheel here. So today, talking about bariatric and weight loss surgery and what those things are, the three main types that are typically done by surgeons today, what some of the benefits of each are, some of the risks, and also some of the commonalities. So bariatric or weight loss surgery is a tool to help you limit the amount of food that you take in at one given time, creating that calorie deficit. Some surgeries combine the food intake restriction, saying the amount of food that you take in, and also a malabsorption, and we'll get into each of those individually. Our normal adult stomachs hold about 3 pints of food. I was super surprised to realize that it was that much. After you have weight loss surgery, your stomach will hold between 2 and 4 ounces at one time. Yes, you heard that correct. We start out at a stomach that can hold 3 pints and we bring it down to hold 2 to 4 ounces. So what are the three main types? The first one we're going to talk about is gastric banding, also known as the lap band. The second is the sleeve gastrectomy, also known as the VSG or sleeve, and that is actually the surgery that I will be having. And the third is the most well-known gastric bypass or Roux-En-Y. Okay, so what are some of the commonalities of the three? With all three, you are going to have that calorie deficit from reducing the stomach size so that you cannot eat as much at one time. Another commonality is some risk factor. With any surgery comes some risk. Any surgery you have where they're cutting into your body, you have risk of infection, you can have risk of blood clots, you can also have a risk of gallstones from rapid weight loss, something new that I learned. I have had rapid weight loss before because I have done the HCG program many times. I have lost previously 80 plus pounds, total of 120 pounds in the past, 80 of that lost with HCG. Get any gallstones at that time. My gallbladder looks good, my liver looks good, you know, enzymes, all that stuff. So hopefully that doesn't occur this time. The only thing I worry is that this is definitely more prolonged. in that when you do HCG, you do them for short rounds. So you're losing weight, but you do it for a short round of 21 days, 23 days, I think, and then 40 something days. God, it's been a while since I've done it. So let's just say about a month. Okay. And then you're supposed to stabilize, wait so many weeks, and then you can do another round. It took me 5 years to lose that 80 pounds and be very diligent about it and working out a ton. And I'm really glad for the experience because I feel like it was sort of boot camp for what's coming up for me and helped me deal with some of the behavioral issues around food and how I viewed food. And I really feel like I'm in a good place for my upcoming surgery. And of course, one of the other commonalities is that with any great loss of a tremendous amount of weight, you have the very common opportunity to reduce obesity onset illnesses such as cardiovascular issues like high cholesterol and type 2 diabetes. So that's great. What are some of the differences of the three? The amount of weight loss that can be achieved, the rate at which weight loss occurs, the risks associated, absorption and also malabsorption concerns, and whether they are permanent surgeries, surgeries that can be reversed or revised. And if you see me looking down a lot, I put my notes together, so that's why. Now we're gonna go ahead and touch base a little bit on those individually. So starting with gastric banding, aka the lap band. This has been around since about 2001. What it is it's a procedure that places an inflatable band around your stomach that kind of creates a division between like your top part of your stomach and your lower part of your stomach. And I will go ahead and put a picture up here so that you can get the visual as I'm describing it as well. And what this does, this allows you to eat a small amount of food that goes into the top part of your pouch and slowly enters into the lower part. From what I understand, you can hold about half to 1 cup of food in your stomach at one time. Anything more than that and you're gonna feel sick. It is adjustable. These adjustments are made by your physician in the office, where they can deflate it so that you can intake more, or they can inflate it so that you have more restriction. It is reversible and it can be removed from your body after weight loss is achieved, or if you want to have it removed for either medical reasons or personal reasons, it can be taken out of your body. It is considered the safest of the procedures. However, I have read conflicting information about this, so it also depends on which surgeon you speak to. My surgeon listed it as the safest, but I watched some videos from a physician on YouTube. Let me see if I listed him. Bariatric is his channel, and I do not know which video it was, but he actually said that he does not, in his practice, they do not do the lap band surgery anymore because there's a lot of problems with slippage. The weight loss is not great with them. And he says the surgeries that we mostly do are taking them out of people. So that's a no-go for me. But it does have the lowest risk of nutrient deficiency. It does have the lowest risk of nutrient deficiencies and malabsorption because everything is still there. Some things to be aware of. As we just mentioned, patients typically have less weight loss and are not as happy with it. It's super easy to do something like drink your calories, for example. What do I mean? I mean, like, your stomach is still there. It's just got a smaller hole that's separating the top from the bottom. So if you want to eat that ice cream, it's just going to melt on down. Eat that milkshake, just go on, right? It's going to fit in that 3-pint stomach still. And so, of course, then you are not going to lose weight. The main risks are that it can slip out of place, or it can create an enlargement of the esophagus. And they do have a high rate of reoperation for either issues or a revision to moving towards either the gastric sleeve or to a full gastric bypass. And interestingly enough, I do want to mention that at the clinic that I am going through, and when I had my, what is it called? The esophageal thing where they found my hiatal hernia, there was another woman in the waiting room who had lap band done. Probably, I think she said don't quote me, I don't even want to say. I thought she was saying it sounded like just a month or two, and she was getting it taken out of her body because she was miserable, had nothing but issues with it. Where is my other one? Oh no, I think I lost a page. Okay, I just had to go ahead and get my computer because I apparently didn't print out all the pages to my little report that I've been print out all the pages to my research that I was doing. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about the sleeve gastrectomy, or the VSG or sleeve, which is the surgery that I'm getting. This one has been around since 1990, and the first laparoscopic procedure was done in 1999. And this is the procedure where the surgeon will remove about 75 to 80% of the bottom part of your stomach. With its predecessor, the lap band, it also has less of a risk factor compared to gastric bypass. Patients are typically pretty happy with the weight loss, and it's pretty good long term. With this one, you have less a chance of malabsorption as well because they're not rerouting anything with your intestine. It's just removing that bottom part of your stomach. Go ahead and put a picture up here. And everything's staying connected virtually the way it was. Your newly revised stomach can hold about 4 ounces of food once you adjust post-op. Some of the things to note is that this surgery is not reversible. However, if in the future you wanted to go one step further and have your revised to have gastric bypass, you can do that at a later date. But like I said, people are generally pretty happy with the weight loss that they receive from the sleeve. You have your normal risk of complication as with any surgery like we discussed previously. And actually you have more risk with things such as hip replacement, which is interesting because I had hip replacement in regards to blood clots and all that. You have a small risk of hernias, and I think that goes with any kind of laparoscopic surgery because you get all these like little holes in your belly. Dumping syndrome can still occur, but it is often a lot less likely than it is with gastric bypass. It's a lot higher with bypass than it is with the sleeve. We'll get into what dumping syndrome is in a little bit after we talk about the next one, which is bypass. And so the last surgery we're going to talk about is the gastric bypass, the Roux-En-Y. It is probably the best well-known bariatric procedure that there is, and it is also the oldest. It's been around for more than 50 years, and they have been doing them laparoscopically since about 1993. And this is the procedure that creates both restriction and malabsorption. Go ahead and put a picture up here so you can see what is going on with your stomach and your intestines and all that. What it does is it divides the stomach into 2 parts. The upper section is then connected to the lower small intestine, and this creates a kind of shortcut for your food to go through, and your stomach will be able to hold about half to 1 cup of food once it adjusts. It does have the greatest rate of weight loss with studied long-term effects because it's been around for as long as it has, for 10 plus years for patients. It is a permanent procedure and is generally perceived as irreversible. I have been told it is irreversible. I did read in a medical journal there's something else that they could possibly do for revision, but I wasn't about to get into that. It's very rarely done. It is considered irreversible. Does have the highest risk for complications of the surgeries listed. They are doing a lot more. It's a longer surgery. There's a lot more cutting and moving around of things. And there's a high risk of malabsorption because after all, that's kind of what it's designed to do. So that is the big one where you're probably going to have to really be aware of the nutrients you intake, probably be on really good supplements for the rest of your life because, you know, things like not getting enough calcium lead to osteoporosis, not enough iron, anemia, you get it. And this is the one that has the highest risk for dumping syndrome. So what the heck is dumping syndrome? Well, it is an awful experience that occurs basically often with trigger foods such as sugar, high fat, or carbohydrates, which are eaten or eaten too quickly. And it just basically moves through your stomach and creates great discomfort, and you guessed it, dumping. Okay. Symptoms for dumping syndrome are nausea, bloating, abdominal pain, rapid heartbeat, diarrhea, flushing, dizziness, and lightheadedness. Sounds just like a party all the way around, doesn't it? Good times, good times. So those are the 3 main types of bariatric and weight loss surgeries that there are. I hope that this helps in explaining just the real quick rundown of all 3 and similarities, differences, and help you make a decision on your journey. And with that said, guys, I hope everyone is having a really good day and everyone's doing great out there. And I thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I will be seeing you later. Bye.